Welcome back to Completing Football Manager. My name is Anders, and in this video we are going to go and complete our second nation on Football Manager 2024. If you were around for the last episode, we conquered Hong Kong. We took a mediocre side from 10th in the league all the way to champions, undefeated within 2 seasons, winning a treble along the way. Now, we are off to India, and I'm just accepting my job with the Club CB Sports Club. And here we go. We are now the new manager of the Red Machines. Apparently that's their nickname. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. Check out the previous episode as well, where we go through Hong Kong. I may have just given you a spoiler of what happens, but we were manager of Resources Capital, and we left after winning a treble. Last season, this side finished 3rd in the Hero I League, and they are predicted to do so again. So it should, in theory, be an easier challenge than Hong Kong, where we were basically don't get relegated was our aim for the first few seasons. So here we go. You can see their career history. We won the FA Cup. We won the Premier League. We won the Sapling. Okay, then it sounds a lot better when you just call them the FA Cup and the Premier League. But still, in Hong Kong, that's what we did. We were hired in 2024. And we left in 2026. So let's have a look. We've got some ongoing negotiations for selling someone. Great. We'll care about the tactics later. Let's have a look at the squad. And okay, this looks promising. Abdou Karim Samb is Senegalese and looks like he might be our star striker. We've got a good striker, which is always the foundations for a good side. In fact, we've got 2. Agano Luis of Nigeria. He also looks pretty good. So we've got a target forward and a poacher. I'm sensing 4-4-2. That's my sense before we even get started. Looking down, we've also got a good Indian winger on the right, Halicharan Nazari. He looks okay for the level. Obviously, you've got to remember the level we're at. We're in India. None of these really good players are actually going to be any good. And then looking here, we've got 2 right wingers. So we're stacking. We're stacking in positions we don't need to stack in. And then our 5th best player is another strike. Okay. Although he's a new gen and he's 16 and he's already our 5th best player. So he's one to keep an eye on in the future. And there, thankfully, we've got a good-looking goalkeeper in terms of attributes. I'm not commenting on his physical appearance because that's none of my business. Sachin Suresh, the goalkeeper of note in question, however you want to look at that. If we go through and look at our club history and the best 11, have we got the best 11 for the season that's just finished, the 25-26 season? Yeah, so you can see here they were playing a 4-4-2, and the players we've mentioned, Sam Lewis, Suresh, was it Singh on the right? Is he the guy we've looked at? Or he might be a different guy we've looked at? Well, we've got loads of good right wingers apparently. But yeah, 4-4-2. That's the impression I'm getting already. And if we look at they've played a different formation the first season, but their overall best 11 looks like this. Plenty of players who are still here as well, so that's good. What competitions do they play in? So I think in India you get a cup at the beginning of the season, cup at the end. That's right, yeah. So there's the Durand Cup, the Hero Federation Cup, where we were runners-up this season that's just finished. And you can see here the league that's finished. We finished 3rd, 10 points off the top 2 sides, and basically best of the rest. So I think that's the vision. Finish mid-table next season, be best of the rest. To be honest, I think we can challenge for the title quite immediately. If we look at the competitions, they might be a lot better than us, but 10 points is not insurmountable in a 13-team league. So we'll do that, and maybe aim for getting a couple of cup competitions as well. But there we go. Mohammed Namil, let's have a look if he's any good before we say we can get rid of him. 3-star, Shadow Striker, 24. Where does he fit in terms of the list here? Can we find him anywhere? Is this him? No, that's not him. We quick. What was his name again? Mohammed Namil. Is he even in a... Yeah, CB. Right, there we go. Where is he? Where is he? I can't find my own players. There he is. Okay, probably not going to sell him then, unless it's a really good offer, because he's got really good potential as well for 24. Is he going to reach that potential? Probably not. But he's in and around our best bunch of players, and I don't really want to get rid of people. So can we cancel that? Or are we buying him? No, we're not buying him. We're selling him. I'm getting very confused straight away. Am I going to piss him off if we reject the offer? Let's reject and see. Maybe he's been promised to leave, but we've rejected it. There we go. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the summer window, get to the start of the first season with us in charge, the 26-27 season with me in charge. I'll have a look how many foreign players we can have as well. In fact, we'll quickly do that now. Is there a restriction on foreign players? Doesn't look like it. 5 players, not including Asian players. 6 in total. 4 in the starting 11. 3. Okay, so we've got room for another couple of foreign players to bring in as well to try and strengthen the side. But we've looked like we've got a really good side. So let's see how we get on. We'll go over the summer window and be back at the start of season number 1 in India. And then hopefully it'll just be a one and done and we can move on to the next. Join me in a second. Okay, pre-season number 1 is done. And you can see here from the media prediction, we are predicted 5th, which, according to the season preview, is 4th. So not too bad at all. We should be in and around the best of the division, challenging for the title potentially, but not quite getting there in our first season. If we get there in season number 2, I'll be happy. But Churchill Brothers have made a couple of signings over the summer, which feels like it goes on for ages, because the first actual league game is the end of October, which is absolutely daft. Obviously, we had the Durand Cup, which is basically just a big old friendly tournament. We got knocked out in the groups of that because we didn't take it seriously, and only 40 people turned up. 48 was the highest attendance in that one. Yeah, we lost 2-1-1, defeated the non-league side. It really doesn't matter. Had a load of friendlies, and now we're ready for the I-League season against Trow FC in our first game. That's Tidham Road Athletic Union, if you didn't know, which I didn't. But there we go. I-League looks, as a season preview, looks like this. Kashi, Rajasthan and Kerala will be the 3 teams we'll have to battling to try and get into the top places. Speaking of those transfers that I mentioned, if we look, we can see the 2 we bought in. So this guy, who's our Kazakh left-back, Suyumbayev Gafazan. Yep, he's decided he's going to retire at the end of the season anyway, so we've got him for 1 year. But he looks like a handy left-back. Kazakh international comes in as a star player. And then the other signing we made was Hwang Chun Hoi, who came from our old, well, not really rivals, but the side we beat several times last year, Kowloon City in Hong Kong. He comes in as a centre-back from Korea. There's lots of good Korean options as well in defence. So we basically identified that we need some more defenders who are good, and that's why we bought 2 international defenders in. That gets us to our 4 in who we can use in the matchday squad. So we could have 2 more in the squad registration, but I've decided not to. Hopefully that's a good decision. And we've basically tried to just, well, do as well as we can with everyone else we've got in the squad, all the Indian-based players. Speaking of Indian-based players, 3 of them are out with colds and flu and everything, which is great for the starting of the season, including our first choice goalkeeper. But never mind, we'll get through that. We'll go through now until halfway through the season, which is, 12 games, I guess? So that'll take us probably to about January, early January, late middle, there. Around January, when there's a bit of a break, we'll come back, we'll have a look at what's going on. And then I think at the end of the season, there's another cup competition. It's a bit weird in India because actually the I-League isn't the top division anymore, which is strange because the top division, the Super League, isn't in Football Manager. I'm confused by it as well, so don't worry. I've tried to do some reading up on it. It just confuses me. I think there were 2 top tiers. Now there's just 1. You can get promoted from this one to the other one. The Super League's not in the game. But we'll win this one because it's what's in the game anyway. Right, I'll be back after playing half the season, and we'll see how we're getting on here at Churchill Brothers in India. Okay then, as promised, the halfway through the season update, and it's looking as we kind of expected. We're in the hunt for second place. There's 3 teams within 2 points. 5th is a little bit further back, and Kerala are absolutely dominating on 31 points. So that's a kind of situation where we ain't going to catch them, I don't think. 11 points ahead of us. Played 2 games more, so in theory we could be 5 behind them. But it's been very hit and miss start to the season. We've either won a lot, lost a lot, won a lot, drawn a lot, won, lost in the last game. So we're back to the beginning of the fixture list, so we should hopefully get a couple of wins going 4th. And then we'll push on to try and get into the top couple of places. But because of the weird structure in India, only the top team will actually qualify for continental football. So we need to win the league to get into the AFC Cup, which we won't hang around for because we've won the league. So there we go. In fact, actually, no. No, it's just on the league. It's the Super League, the I-League, and then the Super League for the 3 places. So the cup competitions won't matter either. Obviously, the Durand Cup has already happened. The next cup, the Federation Cup, starts at the end of the season. So that is where that one will happen at the end here, after we've got through the rest of the season. Speaking of the... Well, not speaking of the side. Speaking of the side, Agana Lewis has got 10 goals. He's the top goal scorer. And that's kind of where we'd be expecting. Sambi's getting a few as well, and the rest is just chipping in from everyone else. We'll go through the rest of the second half of the season now, hopefully. Well, we'll come back after we've done the Cup as well, because let's be fair, we aren't going to win the league. So we'll come back at the end of the season. I'm not planning to do many, if any, bit of transfer business in January. I had to check what month we were in then. So kind of expecting it to be quiet and a similar sort of squad to get us through to the end of the season, unless anyone wants to leave, and then we'll have to do a bit of jiggery-pokery. Speaking of, actually, whilst I remember, we did have to sign another foreign player because, if I can find him, our Uzbek defender got himself really badly injured, so good for him. He was out with a broken foot. He's been out for 2 months. He's still got another couple on the shelf. So we had to bring in, where is he? Kim Kyong-sok. There we go. Of North Korea. He's brought in. He's on the right back rather than left back because we couldn't find a left back at short notice. But we brought him in. 9 caps for the national team. Good for him. So yeah, we've used our quota of foreign players because someone got injured. Excellent. Right, we'll be back at the end of the season. Stay tuned. And that's the end of the first season in India as we've got through to the end of that campaign. And it's finished actually quite strong. So when we last popped in January, I talked about not needing to do any transfers, but we did end up having to do one at the end of the month on deadline day. In fact, we had to sign a new goalkeeper, North Korean Sin Tae-song. That was because we went through a bit of a spell where all of our goalkeepers got injured, and he also got injured like literally after 1 game. So he's ended up playing 8 games in the league, 5 in the Federation Cup, which kind of tells you how far we got in the Federation Cup. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, the goalkeeping crisis. So Suresh was out injured for like 5-6 weeks, and then Khan got another injury as well. He's not that good, and this guy Bhattacharjee, he also picked up a knock. So we had to bring in a goalkeeper in because we basically had no one left. So when we brought him in, he's actually really good, but he takes up one of the foreign spots. Obviously not the foreign within Asia spots, not the completely foreign spots. But that kind of leaves us in the situation where we had to kind of alternate between Sam and Agana Lewis. Kareem Sam and Agana Lewis, they were kind of having to rotate in and out of the squad because we just basically used too many of our foreign slots. What is really good to note, though, however, on the striker front is Mohamed Das is really developing really, really good. For this level, obviously. He's got 16 finishing as well, which is good. He's not got the goals yet, but his attributes are coming up. I mean, ignore the fact they're all going down on this one, but he seems to be developing nicely as we go through. He's only 17, and he's also Indian, which is good for the structure of the squad, essentially. Looking around, Kareem Sam came on strong in the second half of the season. He kind of got a few more starts because he was in better form. Ended up with 19 goals compared to Agana Lewis's 13, which I think is like a 10-3 split across the 2 halves, whereas Sam was sort of, I think he was on 7 or 8 by halfway point and 19 by the end, so he came on a lot stronger in the second half of the season, as shown by his last 5 games form, kind of reflecting that. Elsewhere, Udanta Singh and Nazari, who I think, no, that was Namil, who was the guy who was nearly sold as I joined the club and I had to stop. But we've got a good few Indian players who are on the edge of our best performing players as well, which is really good. All of our foreign players, obviously, some Siumbayev, or I can't remember his name. He's retired now, so he came in literally for a season and he's gone. We've got a couple of North Koreans down here who I'm expecting more of next season as we go in. South Korean here, Hwang Chan-hoi as well. He's done well, but could have been better for his attributes. But overall, a good performance from the squad. Now you're kind of asking, well, how we've actually performed. In the league, we finished 4th, which was not bad at all, kind of along the lines of where we were expecting. If we look through the league positions as we go through the season, we were always there between 2nd and 4th throughout most of the season, so that's kind of fair, really, considering the opposition we were against. The season preview, I think, for next season now, that is, maybe 3rd. I think we were predicted 5th at the beginning of the year. Can't quite remember. But we've ended up quite a bit of ropey form towards the end of the season. 3 losses in the last 5 games. We could have been 3rd. I'd have been happy with 3rd. Ecstatic with 2nd. But Kashi and Kerala were much better than the surrounding teams. But that set us up for a nice draw in the Federation Cup, as you can see here, winners. So what the Federation Cup is, which is what I didn't think it was this actually at the beginning of the start in India. Basically, it's like a playoff system for the top 8. So first faces 8th in the league, 2nd, 7th, 3rd, 6th, 4th, 5th. So we had Delhi in the first round. Then we had a favourable draw and got Rajasthan United, who actually beat us towards the end of the season. And then in the final, well, you can see we won it. It took penalties, though, to beat Kerala, who also lost out in a disappointing fashion in the league. We were very much against the run of play. We got a penalty in the second half. Kareem Sam netted it home, and then in the penalty shootout, we managed to get more penalties scored and get that across the line to just about nab the Federation Cup. So we've won a trophy in our first season in India. It's not the league, but we are in good stead for how the league will go. If we look through some of our key performances, when you see against the teams we faced here, so Nandari, who finished 3rd, Kashi, who won the league, Kerala, who finished 2nd, we lost against them towards the end of the season. We did beat Kashi back in December, and we lost to Rajasthan United twice in the league, but then beat them in the Federation Cup as well. So kind of got a little bit of revenge on them for that, but we got through in the end to win the Federation Cup, which sets us up nicely. We've had 2 sets of new owners, though, in the meantime. So the first set came in at the end of April, literally, I think, around the final game of the season. And then, or maybe it was the end of March. Either way, towards the end of the season, we got new directors in, new board. They took on a massive loan, cleared the debt, got us back into the red, and then a month later announced they were retiring. So we've got new owners who've got even more debts and loans. So if we look here, we're back in the red, but we have got $1 million in bank loans to pay back. So that's not going to help, I'll be honest. That's not going to help. Financially, we're a bit messed up, to be honest. The wage budget is massively over at the moment. We need to try and figure that out for next season. Because, well, if we look at the club vision, they want us to finish in the top half and then keep in the top half. This has changed several times over the last couple of weeks. When the new owners came in, they wanted us to win the league. And then it's dropped back down to top half finish again. I'm not quite sure what's going on. But at the moment, we definitely need to sort out those finances because that is untenable, the wage budget. Looking at the squad, though, it's quite a big squad. And there's not, I mean, aside from the 2 strikers who are worth it because they've got loads of goals, there's not much money being spent elsewhere. So we kind of need to, I think we've got a lot of people in the under-18 side who, yeah, it's quite a big under-18s team. So we've kind of got a lot of players we can kind of wean off the wage budget, but ultimately if we want to improve, we're going to have to spend the money to do so, and long-term damage to the club's not really my problem because I'm going to leave as soon as we win the league, which is not the right way about it, but that's the situation we're in. I have signed a new contract to go for the next season. I'm hoping to do India in 2 years as well, like we did in Hong Kong, and then move on and get out of here. But it's so far been quite a breezy season, to be honest. We've gone through at a decent pace. We've come on well and ended up finishing 4th. Should have finished 3rd, but had a bit of a stutter at the end of the season. And then absolutely smashed the Federation Cup as well. So we've got a trophy there. Durand Cup doesn't really matter, but I'd like to win that next season as well. It's a bit of a friendly trophy, to be honest. But we'll obviously go through the group stages once again and hopefully get out the other side and win that. And then the focus will be on the league. And if we win the league, great. We'll leave India and move on to pastures new. Right, we'll do the summer transfer window. I'm not really sure what we need to do. I need to kind of have a bit of a look at who's leaving and who's staying and who we need to replace and kind of refresh the ranks a little bit. I'll be back as the season begins. Well, we'll probably go through the Durand Cup again. So what will that take us to if we look at the schedule for this season? Yeah, basically we'll come back at the in October for the start of the league season. So we'll do the Durand Cup, which is in a couple of months. The rest of pre-season, some transfers, and I'll be back at the start of season number 2 here in India with Churchill Brothers. Keep watching. Transfer window is all done. We are ready to start the season, which seems strange to say as we're in October, but that is the situation we are in India. Right, we'll have a quick look at the season preview. It puts us first, which is scary because I'm not sure we are quite good enough just yet to manage that. We have made a few signings, and you can see a few of our players now appearing in the Media Dream 11. So, what's happened over the summer transfer window? That doesn't do it justice, but we'll start here anyway. We've made a sale to a rival, which is unfortunate, but Kim Hyung-sok, our North Korean right back, he's out. He's gone to Kerala FC for £26,000. We have brought in a replacement of sorts, a new central defender, Senegalese 28-year-old Mamadou Sow. I say replacement of sorts because we have done something to our formation. 4-4-2 is gone. Other signings over the summer, Satish Das from Kashi on a free. He's only 18, got plenty of potential, exciting young prospect. One for the future. Hopefully we don't need to see him develop. And then another midfielder, Jiteshwar Singh, who we brought in again on a free transfer, this time from Kerala. So we've got players from around. He's been at Kashi, he's been at Kerala, he's now at us. So he is definitely playing his way around the top teams in the nation. Churchill Brothers obviously now a top team. We've also got free transfer from Sydney United, Australian Greek Costa Petratos, who is a left winger. So he is a good, really good player as well, to finish off our international, foreign, however you quota, basically. Looking at the quality of players, obviously we've still got Kareem Samb and Luis as our best two players. Then Petratos drops in there along with Sao. And then we've got our other foreign player here, Huang Chan Hoi. And then further down here, Sintai Song, our goalkeeper, who we're going to have to rotate because we're only allowed 4 foreign players in the starting 11. So we're going to have to rotate goalkeepers because we've got another good goalkeeper as well here, Sachin Suresh, who is our domestic goalkeeper. But there we go. They are our foreign players. The squad itself looks pretty handy. Obviously, we have gone through the Durand Cup, which we got to the quarterfinals this time. Excellent. Only to lose on an extra time against Kashi, 2-1. It was kind of, we should have won. We got a late goal, but they scored in the 94th minute to equalise, and then at the brink of half-time, in extra time, they went ahead 2-1, and that was that. So unfortunate, but Churchill Brothers don't really care about the Durand Cup because nobody does. Excellent. That's kind of it, basically. My prospects for the season, I want to win the title. Do I think we can win the title? Probably not. But we've improved. Others around us may have also improved, so it's going to be difficult, but we could play through the first half of the season now. Hopefully we'll do what we did in Hong Kong and just dominate in the second season. But we'll see. We're going to face tough challenge from Kashi and Kerala. Rajasthan are also going to be up there. Mohammedan will be up there. The newly promoted side, these guys who are Deccan, they're going to be good, apparently, according to the preview. But we shall see because we face them in our second game. So it's going to be quite... In fact, is that the other Mumbai Kenkre? They're also promoted, aren't they? Yes, I think they are. Or did they? Yes, they're newly promoted as well. So we're facing them 2 newly promoted sides in the first 2 games of the season. So that's good. October should be a good month. We'll be back when we played half the game, so probably around here in the middle of January, to have a bit of a recap of what's going on and see prospects for the second half of the season. Hopefully we'll win the league and the Federation Cup again and be well on our way to completing Football Manager. Join me again in a second. Thanks. There was one thing I forgot to mention during the pre-season look, and we're at halfway point now, obviously, and we'll go through the details in a second, but it was that tactics. I mentioned a new tactic, but I didn't really go into any details about what it was, and it's this slightly bizarre 3-4-3, which is essentially trying to play to the strengths of the side. So we've got 3 central defenders, a defensive midfielder, and then an asymmetric 4 in the middle, which is 3 at the top, 3 in the middle. I don't really know. And then 2 strikers, obviously, because we've got 2 really good strikers in Sam and Luis. But speaking of really good strikers, it's been Abdul Kareem Sam, who's got the 12 goals so far in the first half of the season. Agana Lewis has got 9 from 11 starts, both doing exceptionally well in all honesty. But halfway point of the year, And this is what it looks like in terms of the competition landscape. We are 5 points behind Kerala FC, but with a game in hand. So we played 12, they played 13. We both only lost one game. Mine was against them. Theirs was against Delhi FC, who sit third, just a point behind us. So we are well and truly still in the hunt for this one. We've still obviously got to play Kerala as well. And with that game in hand, we could, in theory, get ourselves ahead quite straightforwardly. That's definitely the right phrasing. Obviously, we've not started the Federation Cup. That comes at the end of the I-League season. But as you can see here, that single defeat was 2-0 away from home against Kerala in November. It's quite a fair result for them, essentially. They were definitely the better side. In terms of our own victories and results, one that really comes out is this one here against Kashi, 2-1. And it left it late. If we watch that late goal, Harish Singh getting on the score sheet in the 90th minute to give us a very, very important victory against a really strong side in Kashi. Here you go. He's included in the build-up. He's gone out wide to Petratus, and he's come back inside and clipped it into the top corner to get the victory. Very late on in the game, and it was a very key victory. Obviously, we then have dropped points 1-1 against Rajasthan United, but still definitely within the hunt. And it kind of is interesting to see Kashi down here in 7th. They are a really good side. They were obviously the winners last season, but they've fallen off a little bit and just had a bit of a poor run. Obviously, we beat them. They've had a couple of other defeats as well, which was probably not particularly fair on them, but that's how the cookie sometimes crumbles. During January, we have made a few signings. We've spent a bit of money, which we don't really have, but we had new owners come in again. I think for the 3rd time, or is it the 4th time now? I've lost track. And they chucked on another loan and reconsolidated the debts and everything like that. But we brought in some players to strengthen the side. So we've got Jay Gupta in defence. He's come from Delhi FC, so 3rd place. They're just 1 place behind us in the league. He's a really good central defender. Indian, of course, with all the signings we've made are homegrown. Then we've got Prosenjit Singh, who is a 19-year-old who comes from Rajasthan United again. Very close to us in the league. I think they're about 5th. Is that right? Either way, we've drawn with them this season. Yeah, they are 5th. So we brought him in. He's really good. He's already got caps for India at 19. Great. And then some more sort of strength of depth in midfield. Amarjit Singh. We've got a lot of Singhs obviously now in the side. But he comes from recently relegated Ezawal. Used to be at Kerala, used to be at Kashi. He's basically working his way around all the big clubs in the I-League. He's only 27. Provides that depth in the squad as well. So we've got plenty of good players, not just the good foreign players now as well. We've got some more homegrown talent coming through. Hopefully that's going to push us on in the second half of the season. Looking at the schedule, we've got a pretty straightforward. The 2 promoted sides followed by Kerala early on. So it's going to be by February we're going to know whether we're in a shout for the title or not. But what we'll do now is we'll play the rest of this season. Obviously, gone through the tactics, gone through the competition review so far. We'll play the rest of the games of this second season, and hopefully we'll be very close, if not winning the I-League if we have a good run. The signings we've made, so the Gupta and Singh again. If we look here, we've got 5 Singhs, is that in the starting 11? Very typical. And a Thai song, so 5 Singhs and a Thai song. Make some puns about that, if you will. But yeah, we'll play through the rest of the season now, see how close we get to the I-League title. I do fear, though, with Kerala in good form, that we might be having a 3rd season in India, which will slow us down a little bit, but, you know, I'm sure it'll still be fun, and we'll be very well placed for the title next time around. Right, let's play these last 12 games, and obviously the Federation Cup as well, because we'll definitely be in the top 8. And we've played through that second half of the season. I'm going to not spoil things just yet because we've won the Federation Cup again, but that does not mean that we won the league. It was quite straightforward, winning both legs in both the semi-final and quarter-final, and then beating Kashi in the final, which I think is what we did last year. No, it was Kerala in the final last year. But still, we have won the Federation Cup back-to-back. But have we won the I-League? Because that's the one that's important. And if we go to our squad page, and then yes, we've won the I-League. We've won it by 2 points in the end. An absolutely thrilling run into the season. The second half saw both ourselves and Kerala slip up a couple of times. If you remember a few minutes ago in the video, we both only lost one game at the halfway point, so we've lost 2 each in the second half of the season. But ultimately, Kerala drew one more game than us, and we have won the league title by just 2 points. Kashi came on strong and finished 4th. Delhi a solid 3rd place as well. But we have somehow in the second season. Well, I suppose I say somehow. We came on strong in the second half of last year. We won the Federation Cup, which put our marker down that we were going to be favourites for the I-League, and we have done exactly what we were expected to do. We've won the league. You can see where did we come back in? We came back in here. This is where with that 2-0 victory against Srindi Deccan, putting the wins together. The draw here against Kerala, is that the right one, in February? Yeah, so that was very close. They equalised early on in the game, and we pounded them with pressure after shot after shot after shot, really put the pressure on them. But we couldn't get that second goal. We couldn't break through their 4-4-2. So ultimately we ended up drawing there. But as we went through, we kept winning. We beat Kashi 2-1 once again. Sam getting the second goal. Petratos getting the first. Obviously, they missed a penalty late on as well, which was very, very nervy. But we held on to get the 2-1 victory there, which put us in great stead. And then by that point, I think if we look at the where the lines cross here, if we look here, when was that victory? That was a victory. In fact, that was the draw against Kerala. So the draw put us ahead of them because they. Hang on, there was a bit of it. Yeah, so we played a game more than them. No, a game less than them when we drew. So the draw effectively put us ahead. It's a bit of a mess how it went. But essentially, we kind of went ahead and then drew with them as they lost a game here. And then they lost a few more on the running as well. So if you look at our running, we go back to the schedule. We did lose 2 games. We lost to Naroka 2-0, which was a bit of an upset. We'd been on a great run up until that point, but they just absorbed all of our pressure and countered a couple of times and got 2 goals, and there was nothing much we could do. And then it was a kind of similar story against Rajasthan as well. We piled on the pressure, got a goal. We went down early, got a goal, and then the 95th minute they got that winner to give them a 2-1 win. And I was very, very nervy that day, but I believe, if I'm remembering right, when we lost to Naroka, Kerala also lost. So if we have a look, we'll have a look at their schedule as well, just to give you a bit of a flavour of what happened. So if we see here, they lost to Namdari on the same day, and then they just drew a game. I think that was the same game day we lost. They drew to Mohammedan, which essentially left it down to the final day. They faced Rajasthan United and won 2-1. But we, on the last day, smashed Real Kashmir 5-1 and lifted the trophy in style, with Agana Lewis getting 4 goals on the last day of the season to really solidify himself as top goal scorer. We go through, obviously, with the Federation Cup. We won every game there, won both legs in both the quarters and the semis. Had a nice run with Deccan and then Rajasthan United, who obviously have been a bit of a bogey team for us on we didn't beat them all this season, and I think it was a similar case last year as well. If we quickly look, yeah, we lost them twice. We've only drawn with them so far in the league, but it was the same as last season. We beat them in the semi-finals both times around, and then beat Kashi in the final 4-2 to lift the 3rd trophy of our stint in India, the 2nd of the season. We did a double, although you count it as a double if the Federation Cup is kind of like a playoff for the league. I mean, I'm counting it, so whatever. Nice victory there, 4-2. Looking at the squad, best player was Lewis, who got 27 goals in 23 starts. Kareem Sam didn't do much worse, got 17 with 8 assists. That partnership was really a highlight. Prosenjit Singh, who came in at the halfway point, got 9 and 11, so if he was here all season, he would have been right up there as well. So having 3 strikers that could really do the business definitely helped. And then Costa Petratos getting 7 with 16 assists. Again, key part of our season. He was a really key signing to get us over the line. But ultimately, if we quickly look at our profile now, if we career stats here, we played 139 in total, 190, taken 4 cups and 2 league titles in 4 seasons. But unfortunately, our time in India is up. We must resign with immediate effect. Sorry, CB, we are done with India. But it's not immediately over because we've already applied for a job in Indonesia. We're off to Persib. Hopefully, they're going to give us an interview soon, I would hope. It's a while since we've applied basically at the beginning of the Federation Cup and we still haven't heard anything back. So it's been 3 or 4 weeks and the Indonesian season starts pretty shortly after the end of this one. So we should hopefully have an interview with Persib, and you'll see if the next video in this series is in Indonesia, not India, we've just done that, we'll be at Persib with any luck, fingers crossed. And they should be predicted first, and they've won plenty of league titles here. They won 2, and then this season here, where they finished somehow down in 7th. So that's where they sacked their manager, but that gives us strong hope to get back in straight away. Maybe a one-season wonder, we'll see. But thanks a lot for watching. This has been Conquering India, Completing India on Football Manager 2024. And I'll be back with Indonesia with any luck next Sunday. Thanks a lot for watching. See you then.